Hey, what's going on, guys? The Horror Man back with the next review of the Terror in the Aisles challenge. This time, Jason and I watched The Birds. Don't they ever stop migrating? The Birds is a 1963 horror film directed by Alfred Hitchcock, and it's featured in Terror in the Aisles. This is the fifth and final film directed by Hitchcock as part of the Terror in the Aisles challenge. Jason and I have already watched and reviewed the other four. That doesn't even include The Men Who Made the Movies, Alfred Hitchcock. That was a bonus documentary featured in Terror in the Aisles. The Birds is probably my second favorite Hitchcock film, just behind Psycho. My mother has always been a big fan of this one as well. What can I say? It's really good. But so is everything else by Hitchcock. He was a genius. This may be the most simplistic story he ever directed. Tippi Hedren, in her first starring role, plays rich socialite Melanie Daniels. While shopping at a pet store, she meets a man named Mitch Brenner. He recognizes her from seeing her in court in the past. She used to live wildly before settling down. Mitch plays a practical joke on Melanie while they're in the pet store, in sort of a flirtatious way. She decides to reciprocate, so when he leaves, she gets his information. Her father owns one of the biggest newspapers in San Francisco, so she calls a friend who works there and gets Mitch's address. This eventually leads her to Bodega Bay, which is about 2 hours away from San Francisco. That's where Mitch spends every weekend, because his mother and little sister live there. To keep this brief, Melanie arrives and is reunited with Mitch. She decides to spend the weekend herself, so she rents a room from the local teacher, Annie Hayworth. Annie apparently has her own romantic history with Mitch. Upon Melanie's arrival in town, she notices the birds have started acting strange. On her first day there, she was literally attacked by a seagull. And then, during Mitch's sister's birthday party, children are attacked by a swarm of birds. The birds later invade Mitch's mother's house through the chimney. The cop who is called in Bodega Bay doesn't seem too concerned, though. Even when a farmer's body is found, with his eyes pecked out and dead birds all around him, burglars are blamed. But Melanie, Mitch, and the others know something is very wrong with the birds. It all leads to more attacks, as these birds are relentless. There is no rhyme or reason for why they're doing what they're doing. The birds are angry, and vicious, and deadly. The story is so simple that I could almost spoil the whole movie without meaning to, so I'll stop here. This, in my opinion, is the ultimate when animals attack movie. It's nature gone berserk at its finest. I'm not sure people realize how gruesome this movie actually gets if they haven't seen it. The discovery of the dead farmer's body is probably the most memorable. The way The Birds is shot is incredible, but that's no surprise coming from Hitchcock. I love the location. I absolutely love the setting of Bodega Bay. The Fog was also shot on location there, but in that movie it's called Antonio Bay. It's a small seaside town, and it's beautiful. There is some amazing movie magic in The Birds. There are so many scenes where you wonder, how did he do that? I can tell you one of the things they did was mix whiskey with wheat to keep the birds standing still for so long. There were thousands of trained birds for the film. Another fun fact, the school in Bodega Bay in real life was supposedly haunted. When Hitchcock found this out, he was even more encouraged to film there. The Birds, to me, is another masterpiece from the master of suspense. The ending is chilling, and it's always stuck with me, too. I'm sad this is the last Hitchcock film in this challenge. I've enjoyed watching all of them. But, like I said, The Birds is probably my second favorite of all his movies. Speaking of seconds, my relatable recommendation is The Birds 2, Land's End. This is not a Hitchcock film. In fact, the director credit goes to Alan Smithee, and you know what that means. The Birds 2, Land's End was a 1994 made-for-TV sequel to The Birds. As a matter of fact, I still have my original recording from the night it premiered. Right here. First, they showed Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds, and then they premiered The Birds 2, Land's End. This movie gets a lot of hate because it obviously cannot compare to the original. But you know what? I think it's fun. Like I always say, movies are meant to entertain, and if they do that, they succeed in my opinion. What can I say? I like The Birds too. But I absolutely love The Birds. Have you seen it? If so, what do you think of it? Comment below and let me know. And please be sure to check out Jason's review. Don't we ever stop reviewing? Nope. The next review is coming soon in The Terror in the Isles Challenge. Until then, thanks for watching, guys. Hit that thumbs up and be kind. Subscribe.